Hello, everyone. Today is January 23rd of 2023, and it is day 15 of reading the worthy words. I want to talk to you today about deer, D-E-E-R, the animal, versus deer, D-E-A-R, and why the word deer, D-E-A-R, is on the list of worthy words, and what the animal deer has to do with the worthy words deer. So I'm going to start off by talking about the animal deer and how it relates to the worthy words and my personal story that led to me putting the other deer, D-E-A-R, on the list of worthy words. So I grew up around the animal deer. I lived on the top of a hill at one point in my life that was wooded. The whole hill was woods. And we lived on the top of the hill, and we owned, like 25 acres. And so I'd wake up every morning and look out the window, and there were deers in the backyard if I woke up early enough. I loved watching the deer, and I was a child, a preteen during this time, so I was very in love with these animals. I loved watching them. I loved them bringing their young around and feeding in our backyard. I noticed that they were always aware of what was going on around them. And as long as we were inside the house, even if we were looking out the window, they would stay there. They might freeze for a little bit to make sure that no harm is going to come. But after a while, they got used to seeing me in the house and not worrying about it. And they would just continue feeding. I won't say but there I go again. Okay, so there are a lot of similarities with the animal, and somebody who has suffered trauma or has PTSD or complex PTSD. And when humans are in a stressful situation or their safety has been compromised, they will go into fight or flight mode. They will either fight for their life or they will flee and go to a safe place. Okay? Deers have the same type of instinct in that when they are under stress or their safety is compromised, they do one of two things. They either freeze or they flee. Fight or flight, or freeze or flight. And two examples of the animals freeze or flight is that as an adult living in Arkansas, we have lots of deer here. There's lots of areas that deer crosses the road while we're driving on it. And you ever hear the term deer in the headlights? They do one of two things. Most of them freeze. A lot of them freeze right where they are because they're blinded. They don't know what's coming around the corner. But they also are known to jump out in front of cars. Why? Because that's the flight part of it. Some of them freeze, some of them flight. And that's human nature. We fight or flight. The animals, deers, they freeze or flight. And so, yes, I have hit a deer. I've ruined the front end of my car by hitting a deer. And this deer, when I hit him, flew up and over. He missed my windshield, or maybe she did, missed my windshield, flew up over the car and down the back end and landed on its feet and ran away. Flight. Ran away. Okay. But I've also passed deer on the side of the road that have frozen right where they're at. And even though I stopped, they stayed absolutely still. And I continued to drive by and they stayed absolutely frozen to their spot. So just like humans, when we've been through traumatic experiences or when our safety is compromised, the animal deer have their coping mechanisms just like humans do. The animal deer is a very social animal. And they have a gentleness about them and an innocence about them and have this unconditional love for their young. They take care of each other. So, but they are also very high strung and skittish and shy. And these are qualities that somebody with PTSD or traumatic life experiences exhibit a lot of times. Deers are very strong animals. They have a lot of strength and they protect each other. And this is something that people with a traumatic background want. They're looking for that strength and protection from others. They're looking to make sure that the environment they are in is safe. Because without that, we can't relax. And that makes us very high strung and we can be on the skittish side. The animal deer are highly sensitive and aware of their surroundings. And I do believe I may have said that already, but, the memory issue is getting in the way. It is after 7 p.m. my time, and the later in the day it gets and the more tired I am, the more of an issue I have with my memory. So forgive me if I am repeating myself, but the animal deer exhibits the same kind of behaviors that somebody with traumatic experiences exhibit. We're very sensitive and aware of our surroundings because of the experiences that we have had. So now for the word deer, D-E-A-R, and then I'm going to pull this together. So according to dictionary.com, the word deer, D-E-A-R, is not just used in the salutation of letters, dear so-and-so. It means beloved. It means loved. It means precious in one's regard, cherished, heartfelt, earnest, high-priced or expensive, excessive and high. A person who is good, kind, or generous. Looking for things I haven't already said. There's dearly and fond. These are all qualities that I want to exhibit in my life, even though I've had these traumas. And the animal deer has been very beloved and loved by me, by others, children in general. Just, the fact that Santa has these reindeers, and children just gravitate towards deers with this childlike trust and love. And being dear, DEAR, and being loved and being cherished and being considered somebody of value. High-priced, expensive, it indicates value. After having that traumatic experiences in my life that have caused me to be diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, these are qualities that I would much rather exhibit. This would make me more of a social animal, knowing that I am wanted, knowing that people see my value and my worth, rather than being placed in a position of being skittish and high-strung because I don't feel safe and I'm highly aware of my surroundings. Totally opposite. The animal deer, the things that the animal deer exhibits in their behaviors, in that freeze or flight, I don't want to stay in that fight or flight mode. I don't want to stay high-strung. I don't want to be skittish or have to constantly survey my surroundings in order to feel safe. And I self-isolate at times, not all the time, but I do self-isolate at times. And just in the last recent months, more so than average, due to the some of the situations I've already talked about in other videos. It's a lot easier for me to attend a function when I know that the people that are there want to be a part of my life, consider me valuable as a human being, that they won't harm me or hurt me, and I can let down my guard. I would be more of a social animal if I felt like I am dear, DEAR, to somebody else. And that feeling of connection, of being dear to somebody else, DEAR, helps calm the nerves and push away that fight or flight mode and that skittishness and that anxiety and I gotta pay attention to my surroundings. It settles things down when I know that there are people who know my value, who know my worth. And so dear, DEAR versus dear, DEAR was an important subject to discuss in order to understand why the word dear, DEAR, is on the list of worthy words. Speaking of the list of worthy words, I first, before I forget, would like to remind you that if you've enjoyed this, if this knowledge and understanding in dear versus dear, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to hear more of these kinds of stories. And leave me a comment on what you found interesting about this story or how it resonated with you. And so here's my water. One of these days I will discuss Dr. Emoto. I'll show some of the books. I'll talk about some of these water experiments. But for today, it was deer versus deer. And now I'm going to do the worthy words. Abundance, accepted, acclaimed, accomplished, achieved, active, adaptable, admirable, admired, affluent, ahead of time, all things beautiful, amazing, animating, appealing, approved, assured, attractive, awake, awesome, awestruck, beaming, beautiful, believed, beloved, blessed, blessings, bountiful, brave, brilliant, called, calm, careful, caring, celebrated, certain, cheerful, cherished, cleansed, comedian, composed, content, courageous, creative, creator, dear, delighted, delightful, devoted, distinguished, divine, easy, ecstatic, elegant, encouraged, encouraging, endorsed, energy, engaging, essential, excellent, expectant, exponential, effective, efficient, empowered, energetic, insured, enthused, equitable, esteemed, ethical, experienced, expert, fabulous, faithful, fascinating, favorable, favored, flourishing, fond, fortunate, found, free, friendly, fulfilled, funny, gained, generous, genius, genuine, gleeful, glowing, good, graceful, great, growth, happy, harmonious, harmony, healed, healthy, heard, heartfelt, helped, helpful, honored, idea, igniting, imagination, immersed, impressive, income, increase, independent, informative, innovative, inspired, inspiring, instinctive, intellectual, intuitive, inventive, joyful, jubilant, knowing, known, kind, knowledgeable, laugh, legendary, light, lively, lovable, love, lucky, marvelous, meaningful, memory, merit, miracle, miraculous, motivated, motivating, moving, natural, nice, nourished, nurturing, open, opportunity, optimistic, overcome, overjoyed, oxygen, paradise, peace, peaceful, perfect, physically fit, pleasant, plentiful, poised, popular, positive, possible, powerful, prepared, productive, progress, prominent, promise, prosperity, quality, quick, ready, reassured, reassuring, receiver, refined, refreshing, rejoice, relatable, relative, relaxed, reliable, remembered, remembering, repaired, resounding, rested, respected, restored, revived, rewarded, rewarding, right, safe, satisfied, secure, sensational, serene, shifting, skilled, skillful, soulful, sparkling, special, spirited, spiritual, star, stimulated, stimulating, stirring, strong, stunning, successful, succeeded, sunny, super, supported, surprising, terrific, thankful, thorough, thrilling, thriving, timely, tranquil, transformational, transformed, triumph, trusting, truthful, understanding, understood, upbeat, upright, valued, vibrant, victorious, victory, virtuous, vital, vitalizing, wanted, watched over, wealthy, welcomed, whole, wholesome, willing, wonderful, wondrous, worthy, wow, youthful, zealous, amen. Here's to the reading of worthy words. Thank you for joining me. Remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more of these videos. Until next time, thank you for joining me.